Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. You're going to read to us today?
Yeah, we should have story time.
We are going to have to definitely work on our studio so that you get more of the spotlight and we're not in my office. That's the next step.
Well, we were in the studio last week.
Yeah, and it looked like a dungeon, didn't it?
It was spooky. Yeah, it was. Well, hello, wherever we are and wherever you are.
I think the mic's working. Let me check it while you're talking.
Uh-oh. There's always the possibility that you can't hear a word that I say. No, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks like it's checking in just fine.
Yep. In fact, people are watching us do this test. This is a live test. No, it's not really. Really, it's just us being a little unprepared, but that's how it goes.
Well, sweet, guys. What's up? Today we're talking about...
We are talking about inventory again because it's so interesting. So you know how people, you might not know because you haven't come in, but you come in and we say inventory is really tight. The car you might have wanted to be able to get in 2 weeks, now you're going to have to wait 4 weeks. Or sometimes we say things like, we don't know when that car is going to be available. And why is that?
Well, because inventory is fluctuating at a rapid pace. We have 266,000 used cars available right now. We're usually sitting at like 350. Mm-hmm. So it's like 90,000 cars short. Even though that changes every day, it's low.
It's low. And do you know why it's low?
Tell me.
All right. Well, I've been talking about this for weeks, actually, that when the pandemic started, the factories shut down and that caused a chain reaction where people who wanted new cars started buying used cars, and then there were fewer used cars. So, of course, the price goes up. If you took basic economics, you'll know about that. But this is what's so interesting now is that profits actually went up too. Why is that? You want to hazard a guess?
Because they start charging more for the cars. And it's, once again, simple economics.
Simple economics. We were able to charge more for the cars. Now, I say we, I mean the entire auto industry, not necessarily auto search. But what has happened now is that auto dealers as a whole have discovered that they can actually make more money and have fewer cars on the lot. Why would we want fewer cars on the lot?
Make it scarce so that people fear of missing out. There's this one car available. I need to get it now.
That's right. Ronnie didn't know there was going to be a quiz when we started this live.
That's just my speculation.
Yeah. There's another reason, the floor plan.
What?
You want to explain what the floor plan is?
Well, from what I know, a floor plan is where you carry money. So if I buy a vehicle and put it on our floor plan, that's just basically the lender that pays for the vehicle until I sell it. And then I pay that lender back.
Right. In other words, your car dealer down the street who has 100 cars probably doesn't have $1 million that they've just bought these cars with. They don't just hand over the cash. They borrow this money, and naturally, just like when you borrow money for your house or anything else, they pay interest on that money. So the fewer cars they have, the fewer loans they have, and the less interest they have. Yes.
So then once again, they can make more money.
Yes, exactly. Now, again, we don't do business this way. We don't have a car lot, so this doesn't necessarily affect us. But what is affecting us is the shortage of cars overall, and the fact that dealers and manufacturers are now saying, hey, maybe we don't need to have so many cars all the time. So the manufacturers are actually talking about making fewer cars.
And that's what I don't like about it. It's like, are they just going to start selling directly from the manufacturers to the end user and dry up all of this economy?
It's a good question. That it's been illegal up until now. But
illegal? Like there's a law?
Yes, there is a law about how they can sell. They had to sell through dealers, but that is starting to change with the introduction of electric vehicles. Electric vehicles can be sold direct to consumer, just like Tesla does. So who knows what'll happen?
Yeah, it's just speculation at this point.
It's all speculation. All speculation is just worthless. Like we don't really know what the weather's going to be like on Wednesday. It's just speculation.
I mean, it's a little bit of educated speculation, but we're all wondering where it's going to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, inventory's been really weird, guys. It's going to ease up. From the word on the street from the dealers I'm talking to is hopefully like, May or June. But there's some people that think not till next year.
Yeah. That seems to be the speculation. Could be at the end of June that things will be back to normal, but what will normal be? It says that, so the way that they measure out the availability of new cars is days of inventory. And Ford Motor Company went from 107 days worth to 70.
Wow.
So that gives you an idea of how much
nationwide.
Nationwide.
Wow.
How many fewer, I don't know what the correct grammar is for that, but how much fewer cars there are. I'm just translating that from other languages.
Yeah. I mean, you know, a 70-day supply doesn't seem that bad, but, you know, I've seen cars, like specific units that had like a 30-day supply. And those cars are really priced high because they go so quickly.
Yeah, because this is overall. It's an overall 70-day supply, which means that there's probably a whole lot of white, you know, sedans or whatever the smallest vehicles are. But if you want a truck, there's not that many of them. If you want a diesel truck, there's even fewer.
Yeah. Or a Tacoma.
Yeah, or a Tacoma. That's true. Now in Europe, apparently people order their cars. They just order them. Like and you can do that here. You can get your car made to order. You just need the time. And I don't know how long it takes.
10 to 12 weeks right now.
10 to 12 weeks right now.
Yeah.
So if you're planning on buying a new car, and we're used to just going onto car lots and getting them immediately, but if you can order them and get exactly what you want.
Yeah. I think that's been a way for people when they plan. Most of the time it's unexpected. You know, the car breaks down, you got to do something, you're in an accident. You don't have 10 to 12 weeks to wait for a vehicle, or 8 weeks even.
Yeah.
So ordering a car is not bad. You know, you can probably get a little bit better price, and also you can get exactly the color you want and all of those things.
Yeah, and all the features. We ordered one last year for somebody who wanted a manual transmission. Those are hard to come by, but you can still order them in some cars.
Some cars,
yes.
There's going to be a time when people don't know what that is.
Well, there'll also be a time when people can't get V6 engines either. So,
oh yeah,
all kinds of interesting things are happening around here.
Yeah, we have a client now that wants a V6 engine, and there's like one option, the Honda Pilot, you know, because they want a third row seat. So if you look at the Subarus or the Mazdas, even the Mazda CX-9's gone to a 4-cylinder turbo.
Oh yeah,
you know,
so that 4-cylinder turbo seems to be where we're going. So tell me more about that. Like, what does that mean? Like, what is turbo exactly?
Turbo is forced air induction. So basically, it produces more RPMs it produces more horsepower at lower RPMs.
Okay.
You know, the whole argument behind the 4-cylinders was they take time to build up power. Like, you've got to get it up to 3,000 RPM, 4,000 RPM before it really kicks in. And the V6s usually kick in at around 2,500. Well, they've reduced that with the turbos. So basically, you get a lot of power at low RPM. So you can merge, or you can pass, or whatever you're doing, and feel like you're not lacking in power. And that's where a lot of the manufacturers have gone.
So do you think that they'll go down from there?
2-cylinder? I don't know. I mean, I've never heard of a 2-cylinder except in a motorcycle. But you know, they're just getting so much power. I think they're not even. I don't believe they're working on that. I think they're working on how do they switch from gas to electric.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You know, and because you can get a lot more torque out of the electric motors, as we've seen, and horsepower.
Okay.
You know, on a full charge.
Right.
So, yeah, really funky stuff going on in the auto industry. Also, there are deals to be had and things that are still going on. What's good and positive? I don't like to make this all negative. You know, the interest rates are still low.
Yeah, interest rates are still low. That's true.
Lease rates are still low. And there seems to be a healthy supply of inventory, you know. So maybe think about it. If you're looking, you can pick 2 or 3 colors, you know, so that you don't make it so difficult for yourself. But the folks that are open to 2 or 3 different colors seem to be able to find exactly what they want and get the equipment they want. If you got to have one color, you're eliminating a lot of possibilities.
Yeah.
You know,
but you can still order it.
You can still order it, you know. Yeah. So yeah, we got Brian Swanson, who is a highly networked individual. Hey, Brian, how you doing? He says, how's the used car market? So let me bring that up there. Brian, thank you for chiming in. How's the used car market? So what's your opinion about the used car market?
Well, it's a little wacky. You know, I don't have as much experience as Ronnie, but it is still, it seems to be normalizing to a certain extent. Like, there's more cars and the prices seem to be more what I expect, but it's still not where it was in 2019.
Are you sure? Let's look at the data.
I'm not sure.
So if I look at the data as far as how are the used car markets trading, you know, people like to put a lot of stock in the stock market, pardon the flub, but like, it's trading at right about 100%, Brian. So like, and it's been that way for about 6 months. So basically, the used car market is steady and stable. It's not rampantly jumping. and flying all over the place and going to great lows or great highs. It is a straight line right now for the past like 6 months. So like it's not really changing that much, which is a steady, healthy market.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
That is
so
true.
Good trade values, decent pricing on the used ones. Obviously, if you're looking for a Wrangler or something like that, or a Tacoma, you might end up paying a little bit more to get that vehicle. But I can't say it's going to be astronomical. The market seems to be pretty steady on the used car side. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense.
That's the data.
Yeah, that's that is what the MMR says, that the data on used car sales and where we expect prices to be and whether they're fluctuating is true.
Uh-oh.
Oh, did we lose StreamYard? There we are. Then.
So like, I think that's MMR. Nobody knows what that is.
No,
so,
that's true.
It's a market report. MR, it's a market report. I have a graph I'm looking at that shows exactly how cars are trading at auction all across the country. And that data is pretty daggone accurate, and it's updated every day. So basically it's been like a straight line for like 6 months.
That's true. Well, what I was thinking of was the public sites for car cost data. NADA or Edmunds or KBB. It still doesn't seem to be. It seems like when I started, and again, I don't have that much experience, so you tell me what you think about this. But when I started doing this, that it was pretty close. Like what I could get a car for and what NADA would say were pretty much the same. But now it's hit or miss.
It's hit or miss depending on the vehicle, the miles, the equipment, the packages.
Right.
That's what your experience is so far. Okay. Mm-hmm. So like for me, it really hasn't. I think it's just whenever you want to buy that specific car, Right. I mean, I don't know if it's really changed that much, and maybe your inexperience.
My lack of experience is what's showing this. Yeah.
That's probably it, because I was used to it. I'm like, of course it's changing.
Right.
And you just didn't realize it.
No, right. Yeah. I didn't know that would happen.
Like I'm looking at Tacomas right now for a client, and they're about the same price. They're exactly what I expect them to be. I mean, I think that what happens is people expect the pandemic to cause a deal, because everything else is on sale, on Amazon and at Costco and whatever, or it appears to be.
Right.
But people aren't really paying attention to the numbers. They just think it is.
Yeah.
And the car business has been really stable for quite some time, and quite interesting.
It is. It is interesting that the interest rates are part of that. I always forget about that, but the interest rates are low, and that usually does cause, if there's an inverse relationship between prices and the interest rates, because people buy more when the interest rate, the money's cheaper to borrow.
Well, do you know what though? That's a great.
It's like houses.
It's a great point. However, the interest rates have been like that for like 5 years.
Yeah, well, that's true, but that doesn't mean they always will be.
They haven't. Well, I said that in 2008. Well, I don't think they'll stay this way.
They won't stay this way.
And they're the same as they were in 08.
Lower than they were in 08. I bought a house.
Yeah, they're lower now in the car industry than they were during the crash.
Yes. Yeah, that is true. That is true.
And it's not because of the pandemic. They were like this in 18, 19, 20, and now in 21. So they really haven't changed. So it's an illusion that everything is so good right now. So what I'm saying to you is there's no urgency to buy. There's no crazy reason to run out and buy a car. If you need a car, is it a good time to buy? Sure. It's no different than it was last year. So it's not a bad time to buy a car. If you're looking to buy a toy or something crazy, all right, think about it, process it, look at your numbers. If they work, make it happen. But there's I don't see much changing in this industry.
Ever?
No, I mean, since 93. I mean, it's like, it's called cyclical. This industry is cyclical.
Yes, it's cyclical. So it has changed since 1993. And I think what we're saying is that it's not going to go and do something completely crazy.
It's not going to fall off the face of the market.
Right, right. There will be changes. Interest rates do go up and down. It may take 25 years for them to see the extremes. You can't see my hands, but
well, it's also
eventually.
I think my thinking is I don't ever think about the fear or what could happen. It's like we're going to deal with whatever happens. Right. And so right now I just try to. This is reporting from the street. The interest rates are good. The car market is healthy. Your value on your trade-in has not dropped off. This is not Bitcoin.
No, right. This is not Bitcoin. There's nothing there's nothing speculative about the car market, and cars are pretty straightforward. That is true, and it is stable. You're right. But I don't think it will be exactly like this forever.
What do you think is going to happen?
What do I think will happen? I think that we will slowly see an introduction of more electric vehicles and some changes in the laws. Plus, I think at some point we'll see inflation, because that's just how the economy goes, up and down.
Mm-hmm.
And that will change the nature of the car market. It won't change the fact that people need cars, and it won't change the fact that cars will still be bought and sold, but it'll change a little bit the prices and how we buy them.
I think that's an X factor there, because once they introduce a steady dose of electric vehicles and they work on the infrastructure
Mm-hmm.
for recharging them when you're driving them to work every day, once they crack that code, I don't know what the gas vehicles are going to be worth. Like, it's an X factor. It's just out there. It's like, I don't know what your truck's worth now, because all of this stuff's available.
No, that's true. Although we may see a little bit of that with the V6 vehicles.
I mean, they could go up,
They could go up, or they could go down. I don't know.
We'll be here to report it.
We will be here to report it. That will be the most stable thing, that we will be here to report it.
It's going to be interesting. So, if your vehicles are getting old, I would say start looking at what you're going to do over the next 3 to 5 years, and start making adjustments, because they keep pushing this stuff.
Yeah, they do that. And what we really focus on here is planning, rather than, I like to say that all speculation, all future predictions are worth what you paid for them, which is generally nothing.
Yeah.
So that's not, we can't tell you really what's going to happen in the future. It's fun to speculate, but the reality is that we like to focus on planning, making sure that you know more or less what's coming, trying to minimize your risk and maximize what you're going to be ready for.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I learned it from you.
Anything else? Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to add? We don't have any other questions. Brian had some good questions.
Yeah.
Geo Metro had a 3-cylinder one. It was a flop.
Did it really?
Yeah, they did have a 3-cylinder motor. But I mean, I don't think they make anymore. I think the Mirage is still like available in the 3-cylinder.
Yeah.
But it's really like 90 horsepower.
Yeah, that's
a good kit car.
In Europe. There's probably some in Europe that they make all kinds of, like, there's all kinds of weird cars in Europe that we don't have here, like little tiny pink things with lace on them, and just weird stuff that I've posted before that we're just shocked by. Like, you can't drive that thing.
Yeah,
it's like an egg.
The roads are different there, and
roads are different. The expectations are different. The driving is different.
Yeah, and America likes things just bigger.
We do. We have a lot of space. We like to take it up.
Yeah, we like big campers and big stuff.
Yes. Yes.
Well, we're going to be pulling those big campers with electric vehicles, guys. And it is 2021. We don't know when this is going to happen, but
he had to look at his watch to figure that out.
Because I'm losing it. I'm old.
So this afternoon we're doing a webinar on leasing.
Yeah.
Last chance if you're interested in asking questions about leasing. We'll explain basically what it is and why it's valuable for lots of people these days, even though we don't always realize it. So if you're interested in it, comment or message us or what have you. We'll get you signed up.
That sounds great. I'll be on there to answer questions, but Bonnie is leading this.
Yes.
So anything else to take us out?
Just be ready for the snow tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's going to snow.
Wednesday night.
And if we get the time to work on this office setup, I am tired of leaning this way. Maybe we can set you over there. It would be like, I want it to be like a radio show. We probably put the camera up higher.
Oh yeah, maybe we could do that. That's true.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
We always think about these things once it's already live.
Once it's already live, that's right.
Next week we'll try it again. Next Tuesday, guys. So if you got questions, put it in the comments box, and we will try to answer them next week when we come back with another crazy car business topic from Ronnie and Bonnie.
Yeah, I think we're kind of talking about inventory because I'm obsessed with it.
Obsessed.
But if you have other, it's not just me, it's the whole industry. If you have other topics that you'd like to hear about, please let us know, and we'll
research it.
Yeah, we'll do a little research. We'll have some fun.
And then we'll give you an educated opinion.
Yes, and perhaps some useless speculation.
Useless. All right, guys, have a great day.